2 seasons where they made a conference finals, and 1 championship.
I don't remember Lakers being on TV when Kobe. I don't remember them on being on TV because Kobe was hurt. You're a lie. Lakers wasn't on TV. But I tell you who was on TV: the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Michael Jordan was raised in a household with both of his parents. Then Nick Wright went on television and delivered a statement that immediately caught NBA fans off guard. People were left wondering, did he really just say that? His argument was that LeBron James' 8 seasons with the Lakers are on the same level as Giannis Antetokounmpo's 13-year tenure with the Milwaukee Bucks. Shannon Sharpe then added even more fuel to the debate, speaking as if the Lakers had little relevance before LeBron arrived in Los Angeles. But the discussion took an even more surprising turn after that. Rich Paul appeared in a recorded conversation and implied that the criticism of LeBron lacking a clutch gene could be traced back to him growing up without a father in the home. That's the kind of explanation that doesn't simply make people raise an eyebrow. It makes viewers pause the video, rewind it, and listen again to make sure they heard it correctly. There's a lot to break down here. To many people, some of these arguments come across less like genuine basketball analysis and more like attempts to protect LeBron's reputation. Now I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me this. Out of all the defenses you've heard people use to defend LeBron's legacy, which one do you think is the most unbelievable?
Paul George was having mental breakdown. Damian Lillard sat there and said the bubble was the most easiest thing he ever witnessed. You got Jason Tatum sat there and said the bubble was so easy. It was not even real basketball. You got Hall of Famers that spoke on the situation of the bubble because it was no real travel. It was no real fans. It was AAU tournament bubble basketball. That was not real basketball, bro. No fans. So the rookies can go out there. They can still perform, put up these high numbers as well because there was no fans. That was not a real basketball situation.
Was it Nick Wright comparing LeBron's Lakers' tenure to Giannis Antetokounmpo's years in Milwaukee? Was it Shannon Sharpe suggesting the Lakers were barely relevant before LeBron arrived? Or was it Rich Paul linking criticism of LeBron's clutch performances to something far beyond basketball? Because this debate is full of controversial takes, and each one shows just how far some people are willing to go when LeBron's legacy comes under scrutiny. Let's begin with Nick Wright, since his comments were the spark that ignited this entire discussion across the basketball world. Wright argued that LeBron's time with the Lakers shouldn't automatically be labeled a disappointment. At first glance, the argument sounds convincing. Over 8 seasons in Los Angeles, LeBron made the playoffs 7 times, reached the Western Conference Finals twice, and captured 1 NBA championship. Those accomplishments are respectable by any standard. But once you take a closer look instead of just reading the resume, the argument starts to lose some of its strength. That's when Wright brought Giannis Antetokounmpo.
8 years with the Lakers, 7 trips to the playoffs, 2 seasons where they made a conference finals, and 1 championship. And you are going to have folks today earnestly, genuinely try to argue that LeBron's Lakers tenure was a failure. To which I would simply say or ask, and don't even add, I'm not even asking you to add any age-related qualifiers to it. Has Giannis's 13-year Bucks career been a failure? Because in those 13 years, Giannis has 1 trip to the finals, 1 championship, and 1 trip to another conference finals.
Giannis didn't arrive at one of the most iconic franchises in professional sports. He wasn't traded to a glamorous destination already decorated with championship banners and a rich winning tradition. Instead, he helped transform Milwaukee into a legitimate title contender through years of growth and development. LeBron's situation in Los Angeles was very different. He joined the Lakers with one of the NBA's biggest brands behind him, enormous expectations, the ability to attract other stars, significant influence over roster decisions, and relentless media attention. That's exactly why so many fans challenge Nick Wright's comparison. On paper, the numbers may appear similar when viewed in isolation, but basketball has never been judged by...
Oh, hold on, check this out. Let's make it a little bit deeper. I have something for this. It's a lot deeper. When you say he didn't have it, right? When you look at Michael grew up with a mom and a dad in his household. When you look at Kobe grew up with a mom and dad in his household. When you look at LeBron's mom was 16 when she had him as a child. Now, he spent a lot of time by himself, right? He did not develop. Taking the last shot over 3 people is a...
Instead, the time frame is expanded in a way that makes the 2 resumes appear much more comparable than many people believe they really are. That's where a lot of critics say the argument begins to lose its credibility. Now look at what Giannis accomplished over the past 8 seasons. He captured back-to-back MVP awards, cemented himself as one of the NBA's most dominant superstars, led Milwaukee to an NBA championship that earned widespread respect around the league, and consistently kept the Bucks among the league's elite teams. During that same stretch, he also made multiple deep playoff runs and reached the postseason more frequently than LeBron did during his time with the Lakers. When both players are measured over an identical 8-year span, the comparison no longer looks as balanced as it initially did. That's why the 13-year figure keeps appearing in these discussions. According to critics, using that longer timeline creates a comparison where the accomplishments line up more closely than they would under equal conditions. They argue that good analysis should begin with the evidence and allow the conclusion to follow naturally. It shouldn't begin with a predetermined conclusion and then search for...
I don't remember Lakers being on TV when Kobe, I don't remember them on being on TV because Kobe was hurt. You're a lie. Lakers wasn't on TV. But I tell you who was on TV, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, yeah.
And the Golden State Warriors. The Boston Celtics, when they had them young guys coming up, Tatum and Brown, Smart, Al Horford. I can tell you who was on TV. You can say, you see, it's easy to say that now because LeBron there. They're going to be on TV after LeBron leaves because Luka's there. But you a lie. You a lie. They wasn't on TV. Yeah, they was on in LA market, but they weren't broadcast nationally. Don't do it.
The 2020 championship remains the centerpiece of every debate about LeBron's Lakers legacy. Supporters see it as undeniable proof of success, while critics argue the unique circumstances make it difficult to compare with other title runs. The championship counts, and no one can take it away, but the discussion has never truly ended. Many believe LeBron had already secured his legacy long before arriving in Los Angeles with his earlier titles in Miami and Cleveland. Since that championship, however, the Lakers have won only 3 playoff series over the following 6 seasons. For most teams that might be respectable, but the Lakers have always been judged by a higher standard. That is why expectations in Los Angeles are different from almost every other franchise. Critics argue that the standard for evaluating this era keeps changing whenever questions arise. The conversation then shifted to Shannon Sharpe's claim that the Lakers had become irrelevant before LeBron arrived. The numbers tell a different story. Even during difficult seasons after Kobe Bryant's injuries, the Lakers remained one of the NBA's biggest television draws. They continued receiving a high number of nationally televised games despite poor records. That showed the strength of the Lakers brand and Kobe's lasting popularity. LeBron unquestionably brought even more attention to the franchise, but he did not revive a team that had disappeared from the spotlight. The debate became even more personal when Rich Paul weighed in. He suggested LeBron's upbringing helped shape his leadership style and willingness to trust teammates. Some viewed that as thoughtful context, while others felt it avoided the real basketball discussion. Critics questioned why a debate about clutch performances had shifted toward childhood experiences. In the end, fans always return to the same question. When the biggest playoff moments arrived, what happened on the court? That remains the foundation of the debate surrounding LeBron's Lakers legacy.